already know what time it is. I got a special guest tonight, my guy Greg Hackett. We're going to talk about everything going on. The Rodeo card. I don't even know how to say that shit, but that's how I'm going to say it. Boots. We're going to talk about everything going on right after this right now.
I got so much fucking design on right now. Every time you come out of the old guys who walk bitches on the line.
Yo. I'm about to bring my guy on right now. Greg, what's up, brother?
I'm chilling. What's the deal?
I'm chilling, man. I ain't gonna front, man. You one of my most entertaining people I've been watching online, bro. You be going in, you be cooking. I know you from the streets of Philly, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Bro, I used to be in Philly a lot, bro. Like, I love Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you, all right, so if you really from Philly, where the best cheesesteak at?
Man, you get cheesesteak from Poppy Store, man.
Man, when I went, it was Max's, bro. Gil told me it
No,
was
that's where you're going
Max's.
to get the biggest cheesesteak.
That's just crazy, though, man. Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, I was out there, and I was like, every time I go to Philly, that's where I go. That's my spot, bro. But
Yeah.
there's been a lot of boxing coming out of Philly lately. I see Danny Garcia just did an event.
Yeah.
Boots just had his second event back over there.
Yeah.
You know, boxing starting to come back to Philly. And a lot of people feel like Philly is where they should be throwing a lot of events. How you feeling about that right now?
I mean, it's always good because, that means we bringing the action back here. I mean, and it was once here back in like the 70s, 80s, stuff like that. Even the 90s, we had a lot of action. So, it's something that should be going on because we got a lot of fighters.
Now, we all seen recently, actually today, I think they announced finally the Rodeo card. I don't even know how you say that shit.
RIYDAH or some shit.
RIYDAH, I don't know how they say
RIYDAH
it.
season.
RIYDAH season. What you think about the card, bro?
I mean, it's a great card. They got talent all the way through. I mean, great fights.
What fight you looking for most? Like, let's go from the top of the card. First of all, you got Bivol, right? The rematch, which I thought it happened pretty fast. To be honest, I feel like it just happened that fight. But they're doing the better be Bivol, right? Then you got Dubois versus Joseph Parker, Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Mayweather, Carlos Adams versus
Floyd Mayweather.
I'm sorry, Floyd Schofield. Why I say Mayweather? I'm tripping, B. Schofield. Virgil Ortiz versus Madronov, right? You got the Big Bang. He be wilding with his pause shit. He's on there. The card is super dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm fucking with it. Me personally, I want to see the rematch of Better Be versus Bivol. What you feel about the first fight when it transpired?
I mean, it was a really close fight. I think the difference was the last 2 rounds. I think Better BF, he stepped on the gas. I mean, Bivol kind of fell back a little bit. I think that's how he ended up losing the fight. You know what I mean? But it was a very close fight.
Nah, I love the fight, bro. I ain't gonna front. Like when I was watching it, I could have went either way. I kind of had Bivol winning, but Better Be was really on him all 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Bivol kind of looked defeated towards the end. Like he looked like he didn't want to smoke no more. Like it was just too much pressure. But a part two, if any adjustments could be made, what you think would those adjustments actually be? If for Bivol?
I mean, I think with a puncher, you can't always run from him. You can't always move. You know what I mean? I'm saying that because sometimes you gotta let a guy know that you a man too. You know what I mean? If you move all night, he gonna get the best of you because you 9 times out of 10 not training like that. So then, but I feel like Bivol did have some good moments, but I think he moved a lot more than he intended to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if he would have stayed there and planted his feet sometimes and just got his hands off, I think he would have found better success. He might even have dropped Better BF or something like that. But I feel like the times he was moving, he was just moving too much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dope fight for the first one. I mean, definitely looking forward to the second one. I'm glad that we didn't have to wait a whole nother year of politics. I mean, that's what I like about, like, I ain't gonna front about the European fighters, but they kind of just get to it. Ain't too much drama. They just go get to it. You got Shakur and Floyd Schofield finally, right?
Yeah.
Finally going down. There's a lot of controversy behind that. You know what I mean? His father's voice, which is a little annoying to me, but whatever. But a lot of people feel like Schofield not ready for Shakur. A lot of people feel like he's too green for Shakur. That Shakur won't get the credit he deserves if he beats him. What you feel about that?
I mean, if you think about the skills and stuff like that and the accolades, yeah, he not ready. But if you just think about them being two men, you know what I mean? He definitely ready. He a big, strong kid. Yeah, he hasn't been in there with the top competition, but he was constantly telling us, him and his father, that he was ready for an opportunity, and here it is. So we can't turn back. You know what I mean? And I believe Young Boy gonna bring some good pressure. I think he gonna really make it an interesting fight.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Watching like the back and forth between them, I feel like even doing the interviews talking about the money aspect of it, like you're like, yo, it's a crazy bag, it's this and that. And I feel like sometimes not all money's good money, right?
Right.
And I feel like if you don't believe that he's there, you just doing it for the check. Like from the last fight that I saw, I don't believe he's ready for him. But his stylistically, I think it's a
Right.
problem that he could give Shakur. You know,
Right.
he kind of reminds me of Sean Porter. That's what, like a young version of Sean Porter. Sean Porter's a bully cat, fight inside, just be on you 12 rounds. So I agree with you. I think he is gonna bring it, but I just feel like Shakur is Shakur gonna stand there? He's gonna bore us. Is he gonna try to make an example out of him? Because you know he's trying to get that tank fight, so he wants a big win. What do you think Shakur is gonna do on that? Do you think he's gonna stand his ground and try to win that fight dominantly, or you think he's gonna do what Shakur's been doing over the last couple fights?
I'm gonna be real. I think us knowing now that Shakur's been having issues with his hands,
Yeah.
I think that's what the fight is gonna be based on as far as Shakur's end. As long as his hands is healthy, I think we're gonna see him out there go out there and put on a show, but try to get a stoppage. And if he having hand issues, then we're gonna just see the guy, that box around you score and just win on the cards.
And then that's probably the worst case scenario for Shakur because a lot of people. I mean, you got to look at it. Shakur, in my opinion, his ego, which everybody got an ego, right? He
Right.
wants to be that guy. He wants to be where Javante is. He wants to be where Ryan Garcia is in terms of the money aspect. But knockouts sell seats, right? Knockouts sell pay per views. Do you think the way he's going, he could become that type of star without the knockouts?
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But one thing you can't deny is him beating top fighters. If he keep beating top fighters, we can't get mad at him. You know what I mean? Because he's beating these guys. But I think that's going to stop him from being a pay-per-view guy. But you know what I mean? Who's to say? Can't really say.
I mean, listen, this era of boxing is kind of weird to me because people want to see knockouts. That's what sells. I mean, Javante hasn't really fought anybody, any big superstars outside of maybe a Ryan Garcia, anybody that can really challenge him. And he's selling pay-per-views, and I feel like that's where a lot of fans want to see. They want the BS, and to me, Shakur, I think is probably the best pure boxer out there. But people want to see action. And is Shakur willing to do that? I think that's the question
Yeah.
at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, man, we got to be real. Tank was blessed with a gift. You know what I mean? I'm saying blessed with a gift because not everybody can punch, especially punch hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tank is a real puncher, pure puncher. So what makes it all interesting is you don't really get a Tank without a Shakur. You're going to need a Shakur and you're going to need a Tank to make this shit interesting. Because the chances that you getting two punchers like Tank with the style and the speed and all of that combination, you're not gonna get that twice. So it had to be a pros and a cons type of thing. You know what I mean? So Tank being a puncher, we're gonna need a guy that's a boxer. Just like when you think about Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was a puncher. He couldn't punch, but he wasn't the biggest puncher. But Tommy Hearns was getting dudes out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you put them two together, you get a great fight. So I think that's what happens with a Shakur and a Tank. We get them together, we get a great fight. Then we get to see who's the better fighter. But as far as Shakur on his own, he's going to go through these trials and tribulations because not only is he not a big puncher, his hands ain't the best. So, you know what I mean? We'll see.
Do you think with this style of opponent in Schofield, he
Yeah.
can look impressive?
You know why? You know why I believe it will make him look impressive? Schofield's going to force a fight. Because Schofield don't know how to fight any other way. He know how to bring it to you. So that's what's going to make it an interesting fight.
No, I'm definitely with you. Is there anywhere, because I think he's going to be a huge underdog, Schofield. Do you feel like it's deserving that he should be that big of an underdog versus Shakur? Does he have a chance?
I mean, it really don't matter because no matter how you look at it, he's gonna be the underdog. You know, if you look at the opponents, he's gonna be the underdog. If you look at the styles, he's gonna be the underdog. If you look at accomplishments, he's gonna be the underdog. So it's like, you know what I mean? It might be a good thing that he's a major underdog because if he pull it off, shit, everybody that took a chance to bet on him is they gonna come up.
Yeah, yeah. We got also Magno versus Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Yeah.
What you think about that? And a lot. The rumor was it was supposed to be Boots.
Right.
Right. Eddie Boots said that actually Virgil said they sent an offer. They were negotiating. It probably fell off. Boots responded said there was never an offer made to him. He actually said, I've seen the rumors on social media, just like y'all did. As far as the fight with me and Virgil, I was unaware that alleged negotiations were being made on my end. From here on out, if it didn't come from me, only don't believe it, and I will address it if I'm staying at 147 or 154.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
I think with the boot situation, and I'm being honest, I'm being fair. I think that was the issue. He didn't know. He still don't know right now to this day if he want to go up or if he want to stay. Mm-hmm. And to say that they was negotiating a fight, I think for him, he felt like was unfair because they didn't ask him like, yo, what about Virgil next on February 22nd? I think it was just all this shit going on in the media, and he was seeing it, but he not tuning in like, oh, they for real. I think he just was like, oh, they just talking shit. You know, people write shit every day on the media just to get the click. You know what I mean, the clickbait or whatever. So I think for him, once he really got the call, and from what I understood, they told him like, yo, we need a decision made right now, like today.
Yeah.
And he was like, damn, like I never even said if I was staying or going. You know what I mean? So I think that was the whole conflict between him and his team. But you know what I mean? You can't take my word 100% because I don't know exactly what was happening. But I think the issue was him not really making his mind up on if he wanted to leave 147 or stay.
Now, the crazy thing is, right, you mentioned that in regards to him saying he didn't know, right? And at first I was like, yo, it sounded like BS or whatnot. Yeah. And, you know, I seen Xander Zayas come out and say, yo, they told me I got an hour to make it. And then, bro, they made the Maginot fight, right? Right, like, bro, like a day later. So I seen all of that. Now I do believe that they was really putting the pressure on him. And there was some inconsistency. He believed that first was supposed to be at 147. We knew that wasn't happening. Then they switched to 154.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the holdup with him going to 154, do you believe?
I think it's just the fact he wanted to be undisputed. You know what I mean? We got to understand, like, if somebody got something planted in their mind that they want to do, how can we just make them do something else? I'm not saying he right. I'm not saying he wrong. Because I can't say that. You know what I mean? It's his life. Would I like to see him go to 54? Hell yeah. I think it's a lot of smoke at 54, and I think he's going to really blossom at 54. But if the man want to stay at 47, I can't tell him to go up.
Now, this is the crazy thing about going to 54. I'm a huge Boots fan, right? And he's done a couple of events in Philly trying to bring up his star power, showing that he can do X, Y, Z and be great. And I feel like due to him trying to perform for everyone else, he's kind of hurt himself in the ring. The last fight, he took a lot of shots, wasn't looking impressive. And especially in the last couple fights, he hasn't looked impressive. And I feel like it's him trying to become a star. How do you feel about that assessment?
I feel like it's some valid points to what you're saying. I think he should just focus on what it is he want to do and also fight outside of Philadelphia the next couple fights.
Why fight out of Philadelphia?
Because it's a lot of pressure fighting in Philly, man. I don't care what nobody say. I mean, Boots might not feel that pressure. I don't know, but without saying it, it is a lot of pressure, bro. It is like Philly is just a different crowd, bro. It's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying?
No, facts. I mean, and it's a lot of pressure on him. And listen, I think Boots, to me, hits him and Bud hand in hand at 147 at one point, right? We all know he's not going to get the Bud fight. But I feel like he's stuck in a dilemma right now where do you take fights for notoriety? Example, right? He's been going back and forth. I mean, King, Ryan Garcia is a high-profile fighter. He came out and said he wanted to fight him. Also, Blair the Flair came out and said he wanted to fight him. And to me, I think those two fights, in terms of guys that sell the fight, right, will take a lot of pressure off of Boots, because even Eddie Hearn came out and said Boots doesn't really feel comfortable selling fights. Well, I mean, what do you say? What do you think about that?
I think he's just an old school fighter in the sense of I'm gonna let my hands do the talking. You know what I mean? We can't. I mean, we could try to force this guy to be somebody different, but at the same time, it might not come out the same way in the ring. You know what I mean? If we did that, if we force him to just to try to talk more shit and become more of a star, and he start acting outside of himself, he might not be who we supposed to be in the ring. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's tough. Everybody not a salesman, I could say. You know what I mean? Some guys just do their job. You feel me?
So, my question to you is this: do you feel like he should take names that are going to sell the card, maybe not as dangerous as a Brian Norman, or should he just unify one at 147, then go to 154? What do you think about? What do you think he should do?
If it was me, if it was my decision, I say go to 54 right now, because you're gonna get a lot of smoke and it's gonna be a lot of guys you can punch on, a lot of work, and you gotta respect it.
I mean, he did take a lot of shots at that in the last fight at 147. Going up to 154, I mean, do you feel like he could fight the same way he just fought at 147 to be successful, though?
I don't think he will approach it the same way. I think he approached that fight the way he did was simply because I already fought this guy. I know what he brings to the table. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get him out of here. You know what I mean? But I think the mindset a change going to 54. You know what I mean? When he fought Romain Villa, he fought a sharp fight, a patient fight, and he broke him down and stopped him, and he put on a show. I think that happens at 54 because of the size of the guys. You know what I mean? You're getting bigger guys. So I think he'll slow down and pace himself. And I think that'll be the, better performances.
What do you feel about possibly, because, he has had the pressure of selling, taking a Ryan Garcia, a high-profile fight that may elevate him to the casuals, to more people that just are looking for that type of stuff. Do you feel like that can be it? Or take one of those, maybe take a Ryan or take a Blair and then go to 154 and forget about the belt? Do you think that might be business-wise a better decision?
I mean, business-wise, to fight Ryan Garcia is definitely better business-wise because it's a money fight. But to be honest, I would say let Ryan build his name at 54 as well, and then meet him there probably like 2027. I'm saying that because Ryan is still a 147-pounder, 140-pounder. You know what I mean? We can't really say he's a 54-pounder. He's a big guy, but we can't really say he's a 54-pounder. So I think if they both enter 154 and they do their thing at 154, then meet up, I think it's a lot better fight.
No, I mean, I like Boots a lot, man. He's definitely one of my favorite fighters. I mean, my favorite fighters is Canelo. I like Bam. I like Boots. Those are probably my three favorite fighters. I just love everything about them, right? But I definitely want Boots to get the notoriety that he deserves. I think he's that guy. And I really want to see him fight some of these names. I would like to see him fight Blair. I think Blair sells the fight. He might not be the best fighter or whatever. I think he's a good fighter. But I think he'd do him some justice in regards to getting people excited for a fight. And listen, we all know Boots can fight. The guy can fight southpaw. He can do everything, right? But I think he's even feeling the pressure of jumping into that superstar status.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. I don't know. I mean, I don't have those type of conversations with him, but I just know what he do in the gym and how he get ready. So I think, like I said again, if it was me, go to 54.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you. I just want to see Boots when I'm a huge fan of Boots. I'm not going to lie. That's my guy. I think he should be in the pound for pound list. Talent-wise alone, I think he's that guy. If he were to go to 154, right?
Yeah.
And, we already know he's not fighting Virgil. Should Virgil be the first opponent that he fights?
I mean, if that comes to the table again, then yeah. But anybody, it's a lot of work at 54, man. It's a lot
Bro,
of
there's
work.
killers at 154, bro. Like
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
it's 154 is stacked. Listen. I believe he could conquer it, bro. Like I really do believe if he goes to 154, he could get the fight he's been clamoring for, which is Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I think he could too. I think if he won 2 fights at 54, Bud to fight him.
What's up with so if he goes to 154, everybody's talking about the Brian Norman situation.
Yeah,
People are saying he's ducking him. I don't believe he is. What do you think about that conversation?
I like that fight too. I like those fights. I think Brian Norman's a tough, rugged kid. He could box a little bit, but I think what makes him special is he tough as nails. You know what I mean? So I like that fight. I like all those fights.
I'm with you, man. What do you think about the all of these fights being on one card though, too? Like with Turkey Al-Sik, what he's doing. What do you feel honestly
That's
about
boxing. That's boxing. Because how can you buy a ticket and then complain? You can't complain. When you get a card like that, you can't complain. When you order it on pay-per-view, you can't complain. You're getting great fights.
Do you think it's good for the sport for everything to be on one card, or do you feel like it should be spread? Because we are having a dilemma of guys not fighting each other, right? Guys are avoiding each other. Do you feel like Turkey can really bypass a lot of that stuff and make the things happen quicker? And on the flip side of that, for promoters, I've seen a lot of promoters come out and complain about it. Bob Arum came out and complained about what happened to Jaron Anderson. He took the money was there, and he wasn't ready. And now Oscar De La Hoya came out in regards to Schofield. What's your take on that?
I think what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing is he's creating a put up or shut up type of conversation. You know what I mean? Either you come in a fight or nothing. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna go fuck with Turkey, know you're gonna be in a fight, and you know what I mean. You're gonna get paid, of course. But this is more so. You know what I mean? You gotta do your thing. So I like what Turkey doing.
Yeah, I like what Turkey's doing too, and I wish. So to me, boxing had stopped. A lot of big fights stopped happening because of the politics of the promoters. Whether it's Oscar, whether it's Floyd, a lot of these fights don't happen because of that. Do you feel like eventually boxing could become under one umbrella, similar to what the NFL's done, or even the NBA? Remember, at one point in the '60s, '70s, boxing was the number one sport, right? NFL came together, NBA came together, and they brought all the franchise together, and it became what they are today. Do you feel
Yeah.
like Turkey Al-Sik can make that happen with boxing? And what would be the effects of boxing if that were to happen?
The reason I don't think it will happen like that is because it's too many fighters. The rosters is too deep.
Okay.
So, and in order to do that, there's going to have to be some type of honesty being ran as well. I think that's why it won't happen because it's a lot of dishonest things that happen in boxing. And in order to put everybody under one roof, that means we're going to have to start calling a lot of fights fair. We're going to have to stop letting guys bump their mandatories and all that. It's a lot of stuff that go on that we're going to have to get out the way and just going to have to fight. And I think it's too much. It's too many different federations and shit like that for them to all to say, fuck it, we just going to get up under one roof.
What if there was a commissioner? Well, like Oscar had brought up having a commissioner, and everybody kind of because in the NFL they have revenue sharing, right? And what revenue sharing does, if one franchise is suffering, everyone kind of picks each other up and able to make everything happen, right?
Right.
But you did say something interesting about people being fair. So you believe that some of these promotional companies put pressure on these judges for their marquee guy to get the victory?
We see it all the time. We see it all the time, bro.
Yeah, I mean, how do you even? I mean, how do you even police that?
That's the thing. It's going to be tough to do because everybody got a goal, a common goal to get. Okay, let's look at Zepeda and Tevin Farmer.
Okay.
Close fight. They could have called it a draw. They could have gave it to Tev, but who they give it to? They gave it to Zepeda. Why did they give it to Zepeda? He the younger guy. He the undefeated fighter. He's the one that's going to make more noise in the future. Tevin probably got 3 more fights, whereas Zepeda might got 15 more fights.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I feel like boxing and I feel like boxing could be so much more successful if they would all come together. And that's why boxing, I mean, you got to think about it. It's kind of weird, right? That UFC may be more popular as a league, right? But boxing has the superstars, right? And that's ironic. Usually the superstars are what forms the league. So that's what actually makes boxing still bigger than the UFC. But at the same time, UFC guys don't get paid nowhere near what the top boxers get paid.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If that happens, then you're gonna have a lot of boxers saying, I ain't even doing this shit no more."
Damn, I'm not gonna front, man. Like, I really want to see boxing go to that next level, dog. Like, I really believe it can, especially with these guys risking their lives. I mean, they're pretty much risking their lives, and people, just don't really understand it. But I think it was the WBO, right? We were talking about the big fights happening. I think it was either WBO or WBC just passed the rule, the ducking rule. I don't know what federation it was. And basically, if you don't take the fight that you're slated to, right, you'll be stripped from the rankings. Do you think that's going to work? Do you feel like that's something that's going to motivate for these fights to happen?
I think it will work because, all right, so two things. It will work, but at the same time, you will have guys not fighting for that belt. Like, all right, if that's what I got to do, then fuck it, I'm going to go to the other federation. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like there's always a loophole. First of all, Greg, you've been around forever, right? Why the F are there so many belts anyway? And for instance, I was talking to my guy, what's his name? John Iceman Scully, right? And Arthur Beterbiev is the undisputed champion at 175, right? But Benavidez and Morrell are fighting for the interim undisputed belt at 175. Does that even make any sense? Like, I mean,
yeah, it's basically a ranking belt. It's like this number one guy behind the champion. I agree with you. I don't think it should be a belt for that. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. The belt federations have found out that they can make money by making up belts like this.
Yeah, the sanctioning fees. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is why they do it, bro. It's a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot to go into these fights, bro. It's a lot of nonsense.
But that's why we may need somebody like Turkey Al-Sheikh to be like, look, let's all come together. I'll buy. Cause they got the money. Let's be real.
Yeah, but think about this. When you got football teams, right?
Yeah.
How many teams? Like, what's the average players on the team? Amount of players, like 50 something, 55.
52 on the main roster, and something like that.
All right, so that's the main roster. In each boxing weight class, there's thousands of guys. So that would mean you're responsible for possibly, how many weight classes we got? 12 or 13, something like that, probably more than
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
It's probably more than that. So with all these weight classes, and there's thousands of guys in each weight class, that means you're going to be responsible for probably, I'm just going to throw out a number, like 90,000 guys. That's a lot of people.
You said 90,000?
Yo, bro, if you go look on BoxRec and you look at how many guys is in each weight class, it's going to be at least like from 1,200 to like 2,000 or 2,200 or something like that.
Yo, no, that is. I mean, that's a good point. That is a very good point. And there's no. I mean, yeah, boxing are amateurs and stuff like that, but there's no in between. There's no college. There's no. It's kind of weird, and I think boxing is more of a structural problem than anything, and I think that's what it is. And it opens the gate for, like you said, corruption. Why is there so many belts? Why? You just answered it, right? Because money. You hit them with you hit with the sanctioning fees. Promoters. All of these loose ends are what ruins boxing. Do you think there will be a time where it just is one belt per division, one unified belt?
No, because if you think about it, if it's just one belt, then the division isn't interesting anymore.
You think so? Why
yeah, because it's one guy. It's one guy, so it's like, you know what I mean? It's no argument no more. Because if it's just one guy, he's really the man, it's going to be hard to argue.
I think it just would be more interesting, bro. Like, I want to see these
I think so. But then when you think about it, it's like, if you got Bud Crawford at 154 or 147, he's the man. Then it's like I can fight. Is he going? All right. Is he going to fight the number one guy every time?
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah. How can we do it like that? Like, how can we do it where he fights the number one guy every time? You know what I'm saying? And then who's going to be the number one guy because number three might knock off one, and then what he's supposed to wait for him every time? You get what I'm saying? Like, so with the 4 belts, we can kind of move him around.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even if they do keep, let's say, the 4 belts, don't add no more belts, bro. I don't want to see the interim or the USA belt, or I mean, some of these belts are it doesn't even make any sense, bro, and it's confusing. Like, guys walk in the ring, and I'm just like, yo, like, when did he get a belt? Like, and another thing,
And the belt looked just like the real one.
yeah, and another thing is, how do guys get ranked? Like, I watched, I think it was the Edgar Berlanga fight, right?
Yeah.
He had just came off a suspension, and he came back and beat the Irish guy, the Irish dude, and then jumped to the number 1 contender. How does that even happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of money being kicked around. You know what I mean? If it's a raffle going on, right, and it's a raffle for 500,000, but I give you 20,000, like, yo, pull my ticket.
Yeah.
You already given the raffle, so it's like, all right, fuck it, we giving away the money. But I'm like, yo, make sure you pull my ticket for this 20,000. I'm gonna slide you another 20, 30. Pull my ticket.
I'm not gonna front. That sounds grimy, but that's pretty much what's happening all throughout the divisions, man. If you got money to play, they gonna play with you. That's pretty much what it is, and but that's what makes boxing so, so ass sometimes as well. Like, I've been watching boxing, bro. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican, so you have to watch boxing, literally. Like,
Right.
It's embedded in you, right? So I've been watching since those days, and a lot of those fighters to this day, a lot of them is messed up too. And what I mean by that is, because there's no organization, right? Because there's no, a lot of these boxers don't have anybody to take care of them. They don't have, and I think all of that kind of makes it that you need organization, because a lot of these boxers are suffering out there too, but a lot of these guys aren't getting money.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of guys who can fight, they still not getting that spot because they not popular on Instagram. They're not popular on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So now it's not even like yo, I gotta be talented, I gotta beat people. It's like you gotta be popular too.
This is the social media era, guy, and I'm not gonna front. That's what made a lot of people attracted to watching you, bro. Like, you are hilarious. Like, the shit that you be, bro, you be having me weak, bro. Like that when you had that argument with Brian Norman, Senior, it was hilarious. I mean, this is the era. This is it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I mean, me and Brian. So think about it. Me and Brian Norman just closed the deal to fight February 15th.
Really?
Yeah. So think about what you just said. You know what I mean? Based off of social media, we was able to make that happen. Nobody would care in another time, but because of this day and time, we was able to make something happen.
Okay, so hold on. You said you were able to close the fight. What exactly?
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean? Can you kind of elaborate a little bit?
So me and him both signed a contract to fight each other February 15th in Atlanta, and it's going to be shown on BLK Prime.
Wait, not junior, but senior?
Senior.
No way, dog. I live in Atlanta. Tell me a ticket. I want to go. I definitely. Are you serious?
Yeah. February 15th.
Dog, I'm in the building. Let me know the info. Just I gotta be there. Damn, that's not bad. I didn't even know that. Damn, you kind of like threw me off. So
yeah.
I mean, hold on. Is this like a Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, or is this an actual fight?
We gonna get it in.
Damn,
6 rounds.
So he really pissed you off that day.
I don't even think it was really about pissing me off. I think the traction that it caught is just people just like, yo, this is crazy. And then somebody came up with a bright idea. Now here we are.
All right, so February, you said, was it
15th?
The day after Valentine's Day. I'm in the building, dog. Don't play me, man. I'll pay for the ticket. I ain't telling you to give me a ticket. I'll pay for it.
No, we here.
I'm in the building. I definitely appreciate you coming on, G. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to come on, please, man. Let's definitely build anything you need. Yeah, I definitely appreciate your time, man. So, I know you're a busy guy, but Brian Norman versus Greg Hackett goes down February 15th.
Yes, sir.
How does it end?
Like I said earlier, it depends on how he acting. If he getting a little crazy, then it's going to have to end crazy. You know what I mean? If he taking his time, I'll take mine.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. I thank you for coming on. Hit me up anytime, man. You got my number.
For sure. Let's do it.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
That was my guy, Greg Hackett. You heard it here. February 15th, it goes down. This guy's one of the most interesting individuals in boxing, knowledgeable, humble, funny. Support the man, man. I'm definitely going to support him. I definitely appreciate him coming on. And, it is what it is. On that note, John, I'm going to let y'all rock out. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And this is the 10-8 podcast. And I am out of here.
I got so much fucking design on right now.